This is a free podcast from the BBC. For more information, you can go to our website, bbc.co.uk/Radio 2.
Hello again. Hello, Dr. Finlay Casebook is writing. Oh, Dr. Snoddy. He was my favourite. Anyway, Dr. Casebook here, more research. The best time, apparently, he fillets the papers for little-known news. Apparently, the best time to wake up, if you want a stress-free day, is 7:21. So why is it that come 7:30 every weekday morning, 8 million radio listeners suddenly become dead miserable? I don't know. Dr. Finlay, you'll have to take that up with Dr. Cameron. Or possibly Janet. Like your other listener, I too do not refer. Yes, I got taken over the coals by a rather testy person on Friday, but I can't even remember saying it, but apparently about young people said kids. It wouldn't be what I would say, but I must have said it because my listeners do not lie. Anyway, I do not refer to young people as kids either, or indeed children. They're called little people, says Mr. Squeers. Sometimes I use the more formal bin lids, but I like to save this for special occasions. On birthdays and Christmas, I address the tiny little folk as ragamuffin, moppet, waif, or urchin. Whatever name we choose, all the same when they're up the chimney. The good old days. Where are all those, says Dave Cowdell, all those slow digestive transits? All the ones I see are flashing past me at 100 miles per hour. And Rob Sinfield of Nailsworth, Robbie, I hear your other listener going on about men's grooming products. Well, if he thinks he's hard done by, he should see the present Mrs. Sinfield thinks I should be washing the old bonnet with these days. Last week it was mandarin and pineapple, which left me smelling like a fruit salad and susceptible to wasps. And this week it's black pepper and ginseng. So you may find yourself surrounded by small orientals. Still, when she's not around, I just use washing up liquid. Far cheaper. Does as good a job. This is a really bad ditty here now from Tansy. The longest day is over. The year is creeping by. Storm clouds of the summer rush across the sky. With autumn fast approaching, the sun is what I seeks. But with Wimbledon now upon us, it'll rain for the next 2 weeks. Look, be of good cheer. It won't rain at Wimbledon. It never rained at Wimbledon when I was there. It only rains when Cliff Richard turns up. Well, we've seen you showing the youth how to break dance and wrestle. Are you going to strut your stuff on the manicured courts at Wimbledon? Jan, would that I hadn't got the old bad knee, you know. Radio 2 here, grand old station. Having recently become a tog, says Shirley. I'm wondering who Beryl Ann is and why you never refer to her son by name, but as Beryl Ann's boy. I'm sure more of your listeners must be intrigued. No, they're not in the slightest bit intrigued, Shelley, and I can't encourage him because, last week we had a bit of a playlet called The Two Taggarts, and he's become a complete lovey since he played a part in that. He's got an opera cloak and one of those great big hats and walks around saying, I'm in a bit of a mood, love. This mysterious person you're talking to is not Beryl Ann's boy, it's Beryl Ann Boyd. Otherwise known as Beryl Ann's Boyd. And he does have a real name, but we're not telling anybody. Well, yesterday at Wimbledon, I watched it. My word. There was a girl playing who said she was French, but she had a Swedish name. And, I wish she'd gone on to the second round, that's all I'm saying. There was definitely a young pretender to your role as Togmeister. Get away with you, Jan. Tintin Quarantino is writing. Hi, Guy. Hi, Tintin. Say, I ain't been around for a while. Anyways, I'm now in England watching the tennis. Giving me an idea for my new movie, Wimbledon Dogs. It's a thriller. Stars you, your producer, the guy with the boat, and the dame who's spitting all around the place. Oh, Sarah. Here's the plot. You play the defending champ, and you start your defence in the centre court. But there is a problem. The guy in the high chair says your serve is out, and you know it's not. You tell him, hey, man, there's a puff of chalk. You cannot be serious. But he rules you out. You ain't having that, so you blow him away. Next scene, you're in your hotel room. The producers, your mind coach, the guy with the boat is just hanging out on a freebie, and the dame who spits, they're all with you. You want a room service, but when the food comes, the chips ain't hot. You ain't having that, so you blow the waiter away. Last scene, and it's the final. You're at match point in the fifth set when the streaker runs on court. You ain't having that, so you blow him away. This is a sort of departure for me, says Tintin. and heralds a new style of my movie making. So when we get on the set, don't make any blunders. You know what'll happen. I'll be blown away, hey? Been brought to my attention, says Jenkins the Milk, that your traffic toddy, Miss Bowles, has a very beguiling smile. As this is always the second feature I look for in a woman.
Jenkins, what's the first?
I wondered, could you give me a sample over the airwaves? Start me day off with a sparkle. Tell her I've ordered a couple of crates of her favourite gold tops when she returns to the valley. Thinking of giving her a delivery once a day with a double on the weekends. See how we get on. Yachida.
Yachida.
Is that the correct way to spell yaki? It isn't.
Well, not really, but...
Y-A-C-H-Y? I don't think so.
I think he was doing it for the person who doesn't pronounce Welsh very well.
Which is nearly everybody, apart from yourself. Well, thanks for the picture, Lynn. You've been sending your pictures out, have you?
No, I just send them yours now.
Yes.
And I sign it.
Easy enough mistake to make. Brightened up my Saturday.
Oh.
I got a photo of Lynn today with a personal message, no less. There's only one problem I have with it. That is her manner of dress. Lynn's wearing a collarless jacket and a polo neck up to her chin. I'd prefer a jacketless collar and a bit more peachy soft skin. Oh, that's... Your peachy soft skin is a talking point here.
I'd like to think so.
I've got a little cake there for you.
Oh, you have, haven't you? Excellent.
Not until you finish, though.
Oh.
But the laughing eyes, the dimpled cheeks, the auburn locks and so on... It may only be a 6 before, but it's given me something to go on. David Walker.
Thanks for that, Dave.
P.S. Do you know how to keep an Egypt in suspense? I'll read this out and I'll tell you afterwards. We've a Janet and John story coming up.
Oh, we haven't, have we?
I want people to lie down in a darkened room.
Is that an Irish answer?
Chuffer. So what ho, me old double-talking double act. Did I hear your twin-turbine travel taffy mention my old mate and mucker, Ben Becula, yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Ben was a great old turn, billing himself as a Scots vampire. Barrowlands would remember him. In reality, he was a defrocked dentist with a neck fetish, who always made dentures with pointed teeth. He looked smashing in a cloak. So with that and his name, what other recourse had he but to tread the boards in a vampire act? He'd invite girls up on stage, bare his fangs, and get so excited he'd spit his teeth out in their laps. Post-war London was so starved of quality entertainment, he topped the bill for almost a year. He eventually bit a girl on the neck and was hounded from the theatre by a crowd brandishing flaming torches, which they'd borrowed from a novelty juggler further down the bill. Don't feel sorry for Ben Becula, though. He sold all his teeth to joke shops. Made a fortune. Showbiz. Oh, Dame Footlights. I heard your other listener mention the beneficial effect of taking dog tablets. A lot of chorus girls of my acquaintance used to... You should see how high they could lift their legs. The end result almost put Dame Footlights out. Johnny Marsh is with us. Best bib and tucker, eh?
Do you like it?
I do.
It's rather fetch. It's not quite my colour, but...
I imagine there's a poem about that. About bibs and tucker.
I don't know what would rhyme with
No.
with bib.
I'm very glad that you've got it is an extra large bib, and I'm glad you've got because you put quite a lot of tomato sauce in your bacon baguette.
Yeah, it's the
there.
wrong colour, you see. It really should be bread, shouldn't it? That's going to show on there.
But however, you are wearing a rather fetching grey shirt, and that has all the colours of grey.
Yes.
Well, no, I'm sure it was probably blue to start with, but
It's several years ago.
Yes.
It's faded.
Look, the River Rock in torrents flowed to Boggy's small marina. This well-known fop in hammock flopped to play his concertina. Sea shanties soared upon the breeze with sharps and flats aplenty, while Janet danced upon cricky knees, just like a lass of 20. Up stepped Lynn bowls of rounded vowels to trip the light fandango, her fleet-like foot in deep gruff growls. Upheld the pride of Splow. To rhyme with fandango, of course.
Yeah, well,
A partner to the floor arrived, whose dancing seemed quite merry. Here we go. He waltzed, he tangoed, and he jived. This racing snake was Terry, as Lynn and Terry held the floor. The music did fair quicken. Janet and John cried out for more. They danced the funky chicken.
Funky.
every day.
Ours is a funky network, isn't it? A big up to you, Johnny.
Get down. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought I felt the desk moving.
You're used to the earth, but the desk... Johnny Marsh, ruthless pirate, came ashore and went into a tavern. I hope this is clean. There he met an old friend, Ben Tarr, who he hadn't seen for years. Ben looked at this grizzled pirate and all. Johnny, you be a pirate now then. That's right, Ben, lad. Many a year now, seasoned I am. But you got a peg leg. Battle in the Caribbean, cannonball took it clean off the knee. What-yow? And you got a hook for a hand. Hang on, here we go. You got a hook for a hand. Repelling borders cut a stroke right off the wrist. Johnny, I can't believe you've been through the cap at all. You've got an eye patch. How did that happen? Well, we was sailing wrong. I was at the ship's wheel. I looks up and a seagull drops a load of my eye. What? You lost your eye because a seagull pooped? No, first day with the hook. Now, I knew that was coming, but I couldn't stop myself. No. Sir, I must report a very disturbing fact. What, more than usual? Andrew, I've discovered Baggy is planning a ménage à trois on his boat involving his good lady and that brazen Sarah Kennedy. I hear her inviting herself aboard.
Yes, she's coming along as the maintenance technician, basically. She doesn't know this yet.
I'm sure
she tells me she's good with a soldering iron.
You don't even know what soldering iron is.
No, but now...
Oh, I'm sorry. It slipped out.
With the laughing, yeah. Janet and John go to the beach. Today, it's a lovely day. Janet and John are going to the beach. John puts on his special sparkly pink swimming costume with a matching cape, flippers and snorkel. See Janet packing some sandwiches, fizzy drink cakes, a big box of beard wipes. What fun. Do you know how many times John can say, "Are we there yet?" in half an hour? Well, Janet does. Janet and John arrive at the beach, quite windy, so Janet hires a windbreak and some deck chairs. Janet says, "I'm going to have a walk around the shops. You stay here and try and behave." "I will," says John. John sees a man with a donkey giving rides on the beach. The donkey is light brown with a dark brown muzzle. John asks the man what the donkey is called. Do you think Sanchez is a funny name? John sees a big sign at the end of the beach that says, "Free ice cream." John likes ice cream. Do you have a wobbly tummy? John does. See John hop and skip along the beach to the stall giving away ice cream. When John gets to the front of the queue, he sees a lady with a badge that says, "Mrs. Dickinson." John says, "Hello, Mrs. Dickinson. My name is John. I'd like some ice cream, please." "Hello, John," says Mrs. Dickinson. "I'm just about to have some myself, as it's time for me to take a break. That's a lovely costume you have there." See John blush. Mrs. Dickinson says, "These ice creams are quite new. They're made from fruit smoothies." Do you think Jubbly is a funny name for an ice cream? John does. John has quite a lot of trouble getting the wrapper off. Drops it in the sand. See John blub. Mrs. Dickinson has almost finished her ice cream, so she gives him a hand to unwrap the ice cream before it's completely melted. Mrs. Dickinson wipes the ice cream from her hands and dries John's tears with a tissue. See John and Mrs. Dickinson walk to the end of the pier and listen to someone playing the barrel organ. Soon it's time to meet Janet. John waves goodbye to Mrs. Dickinson and trots back to the deck chairs. Soon Janet, back from the shops, says, "You're very messy, John. What have you been up to?" John says, "I was walking along the beach and I saw Mrs. Dickinson. She was letting people try out her jubblies on the beach for free. I had trouble getting hold of mine and got it covered in sand, so Mrs. Dickinson gave me a hand. It was running over her knuckles by the time she sorted it out."
That's put me off with breakfast.
And then we went to the end of the pier and enjoyed an organ grinder. See Janet play a game called Bury the Newsreader up to his neck in the sand. See the tide coming in. Poor John. Luce Morrow's personal assistant to John McEnroe. Oh, can't get a word out of him. God,
very shy.
I like John. I'm going to stand up for John McEnroe. I think he's a very entertaining and knowledgeable man. And that's all I have to say on the matter.
Thank God for that. If only he were as brief. Just a quick note to thank you for the loan of the new suit to Mr. McEnroe, Mr. Marsh.
Oh, that's okay.
He's wondering if he might be allowed to keep it for the rest of the Wimbledon fortnight.
Well, you need to use it for a couple of days before the smell of the mothballs evaporates.
It rides up with wear, I understand. It has attracted many varied comments from the centre crowd court, including, "Are you wearing that suit for a bet? Is that suit from Rotten Row or Savile Row? And that suit is louder than an air raid siren." If Mr. McEnroe is unable to keep the suit for the rest of the championships, it can be found in a black bin liner behind the water pipes at the men's changing room. So if you care to collect it, Johnny...
If you keep things long enough, they'll come back into fashion eventually.
That's true, my loon pants. Dear Mr. Marsh. Arthur Sixpence, who's Her Majesty's Tax Office. I'm writing to query, Mr. Marsh, your recent tax return.
Oh.
On the form it states, under employment,
Yes.
the odd shift on a minority radio station.
Well,
Payment is listed as a few quid from this old Irish bloke, just enough to pay the bus fare. We have evidence to the contrary. Well, you can keep your evidence to the contrary. We're not interested in that.
I do it for charity.
Nobody cares about facts here, do they? Or anything else. A new species sighted. There's a Spring Watch update here.
Yes.
Little Bill and Comely Kate.
Little Bill.
Odd Bill and Comely Kate are delighted to announce that viewers have reported seeing 3 new species since the series ended. Squawkus bowlesy, a bird of prey known as the men harrier, is noted for its loud vowel-free calls, found in the city centre of Cardiff.
There's an egg.
Oh, that's very nice. Can you do any more like that?
Lightly boiled.
A little celery salt.
Yes.
Especially fond of pies, beer, and the common species tanked-up Welsh boys.
Lovely.
Whymperus martium.
Wimperus.
This seabird only leaves the nest in calm conditions.
Oh, that's true.
Is recognised by its stained cravat plumage and whiny call. Known to steal food from other birds.
I'm being good today. Look, I'm not eating anything.
Should be kept away from young female birds during the mating season, and at all other times. The greater crested Woganius we can forget about. OK. Eastbourne Marina luxury yacht sales are writing to you.
Oh.
Thank you for your valued inquiry. These people know how to express themselves, don't they? We can confirm that we're one of the traders involved in the sale of Pelorus, the 377-foot yacht currently owned by Mr. Roman Abramovich. We are delighted you're prepared to purchase the said yacht. Well done, Johnny. And acknowledge receipt of your banker's draft for a deposit of £4,000 with the balance to be paid over 5 years. As soon as the credit cheque confirms your ability to meet the repayments remaining of £2.1 million per month plus interest, we'll visit you at Marsh Towers to complete the paperwork. We're a little concerned you're getting slightly out of your league. What? No. How dare you?
That's good to be ambitious, I think.
The cheque enclosed for a further £250 had a note attached asking us to fill her up with diesel. As the Pelorus holds approximately 260,000 litres of diesel, even at red diesel rates, it will cost you around £300,000 to fill her up. And please be aware the crew of 42 are only available 24/7 provided they're paid.
I knew that, you see...
There's always a catch,
think of
isn't there?
snags.
You
There's
can't
always a
just
catch.
call up and say, fancy a day out, and expect them to arrive at the mooring with their duffel bags. Honestly, you need to get a grip, Johnny. Honestly, I worry about you. And
Not the only one.
Your ability to take to the bounding main.
I've read the book.
This is the day course that
I
you
know the
did.
difference between the front and the back ends.
You need a bit more
I
than
know where the toilet is. What more do you need?
You let go the depth charges the other day.
It's not called a toilet, anyway.
Head.
Same to you, pal. Look, this is Clodagh rubbish, because I didn't complain yesterday. It's just I felt that all those ladies of a certain age who were admitting to going commando, not wearing their panties. Look, there's nowt wrong with going commando. Just avoid gusty bus stops and open bland staircases. And forget venturing onto that glass platform over the Grand Canyon. Well, thank you, Clodagh. My togs, they're nothing if not helpful. Since when has Boggy Marsh been involved in the television broadcasting of football matches? I know what you're going to say. The kiss of death. The dead hand. Last night's debacle at the Germany-Turkey game. I know they said it was due to electrical storms on the continent. Those of us who know better could see the hand of Boggy in the Don't be talking. Saunders of Bungay has a talent for summing things up. Hey, one of the undoubted joys after the football last night was watching a man describe what it was like to be in a thunderstorm in Vienna. And the street was deserted. Yes, I spent 3 days in Vienna just before the Eurovision Song Contest. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained. So it's a relief to see that it rains not only on me. And the match was played in Basel. So what had Vienna got to do with it? Vienna's hundreds and hundreds of miles from Basel. He might as well have been on Mars. And he told us, some distance away, invisible to us, the natives were turning ugly as the giant screens had gone off in the power cuts. Yes, they got these giant screens, which is near the town hall in Vienna. And they must have been just slightly foxed by the fact that they couldn't see anything. And they didn't have the benefit of hearing Radio 5 live commentary. Anyway, he said, the crew were all safe. Oh, well, that's all right then. I went to bed, says Saunders, safe and sure in the knowledge that nobody was wasting our money by simply getting out of the rain and having a beer. I'm not sure if your other listeners saw the BBC's coverage of last night's football. Yes, we did. And quite extraordinary it was, because, of course, they lost the picture because of a thunderstorm in Vienna. The game is being played in Basel, or Basel, if you like. But still. And Motti said the whole world had lost pictures. No, we were getting the pictures. At least in our house we were getting the pictures. And then we had the pictures with the radio commentary. And I don't know whether you noticed that Doug Witherspoon of Lenny Payne in Liverpool certainly did. The radio commentary was about a second ahead of the picture. So it seemed as if the Radio 5 live commentators were psychic, because the fella was scoring the goal just a second, Oh, he scored! No, he has! Yeah, frightening. And the Turkish manager seemed to be called Fatty Terry. Coincidence? I think not. And that's another thing. I know it's only little things that irritate. But why Colin Kazim Richards? Why Colin? Why does that come in? You don't call Bex anything other than Bex. The great Bex is Beckham, isn't he? Rooney is Rooney. And Kazim Richards is, in fact, according to the Turks, Kazim. But Kazim Richards. So why, every time he got the ball, Colin Kazim Richards? No, just leave it out. I'm sorry, little things that get in your nerves. Dear Mr. Morris, Salty Sam Sailing Schools. I feel that any further tuition in the art of sailing would be a waste of both our time.
Oh dear.
And frankly, I feel you should consider buying a bus, like your friends. Very hard to teach someone who's overcome at laughter every time sailing terminology is used. I personally don't see anything funny about apparent wind, futtocks, or ground tackle. Furthermore, I think only a total buffoon would manage a giggle at being asked to harden up. When asked to explain what's meant by wing and wing, you said, that's what Elmer Fudd's telephone does. Furthermore, my niece said that you asked her if she wanted to hold your tackle while you checked the breastline, following which you fell about laughing until you were sick. This was the last straw. Goodbye and good riddance, sir. You see?
Some people have just got no sense of humour.
No, I don't think. Oh, look, the Hogs, the Hairy Old Gits Society. The awards, Johnny. Beardy of the Year, 2008. Show me how your acolyte John must be nominated in 3 categories of upcoming awards. Random Combing Collection. He leads this category with 43 different food groups identified from single combing in his beard. The Rash Bash. He's also well paced in this area. Awarded for giving quite as many young ladies as possible a facial beard rash in a 24-hour period. Stubble trouble, I think we used to call it. We girls. The most bizarre ASBO, a shoe-in you are for this category, must keep out of Uckfield Town Centre after dark while wearing a bottomless balaclava and pink hot pants band. Could you ask your travel tartlet? Mm-hmm. A travel tartlet. If she'd be prepared to present an award. No fee, but an out-of-date pie and a pint of brains slops will be provided.
They know how to treat a lady.
Now look.
Don't worry your pretty little head about that.
Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, for a much welcomed respite from the foolishness and what can only be described as filth and innuendo that so characterise this programme, for some drama. I do hope the people in front of me here, with whom I'm privileged to play, are all National Theatre players.
All aboard the Black Pig, me hearties! Horror!
Wow, moin my leg.
He's missed his cue already, you see. We're one line in. I've given my all. I've argued myself silly.
Loves, just a minute. This is not a rehearsal.
Top again.
They were not a rehearsal. Look, I have yet to enumerate the dramatis personae.
You did that half an hour ago.
I'm going
People have
to
got programmes, so they're aware who's in this.
Oh, I'm losing the will to live.
Oh, for goodness sake, we haven't even got started
Where are
yet.
the ice creams?
Look, I'll do this again. Okay, I've had enough of that. Now, cue.
It's going well.
Oh,
It's you. It's
I
you.
thought you were going to tell
Well, yeah, you said you were going to... Look, it's nearly 8:30. Get on with it.
Go on.
O-R! All aboard the Black Pig again, me hearties. I missed you the last time. O-R!
There's been a murder.
There's no time for that, you scurvy dog. You scurvy. Get ye on board the ship.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Excuse me, Captain, but whose turn is it in the barrel this voyage?
Who said that?
It's me, sir.
I didn't know there were any ladies on this boat.
I'm not a lady, I'm Bob.
Why, O-R! O-R! Why, it be you're a young Bob. I know that because you just told me.
I've never had such shameless building up of a part in all my life.
Get yourself in there right lively. No lubbing
Get on with it.
this time. Just because you haven't got a line, keep quiet.
Please.
Oh, sir, can't I be keel-hauled? Or maybe walk the plank instead?
Oh, get ye in there, or 'twill be the cat for ye, young master.
Captain, here comes the Commodore.
Thank God there's a line for me. Sorry. Well, I mean, how can you complain? Sure, do you have the correct documentation before... Sure, do you have the correct documentation before setting off there, big up?
O-R! Ha-har! Oh, me hearty, O-R!
All right. Let me see it, you scoundrel.
Not now. Oh, sorry. Quick, me hearties.
Who gave him this part?
Cast off right lively now before ye comes aboard. Take her into the wind, Mr. McTaggart. Able Seaman Bob, get out of the barrel.
Oh, no, stay where you are. I'll be mad to get out. No, I keep forgetting. Irish, yeah.
Yes, come on, you can do Irish.
Come back, you bounder. Faith and Big Ob, watch out for that battleship. You'll end up in the drink, look at. Oh, no, that's torn at me jabbers. They're sinking.
I can't see, my eyes are watering.
Darnay O'Shaughnessy, we're sinking. It looks like Davy Jones' locker for his hole.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, that was pathetic.
What a pathetic ending.
Yeah.
After all that.
You work it, you build it up.
Well, that's only you building up your part.
Can you speak a bit more clearly, dear?
Dear John, it's from the Ticket Supremo in Wimbledon. Dear John, thanks for your request for 2 tickets to the Royal Box for tomorrow for yourself and your niece, Miss Bowles. After your last visit, I've been asked to advise that it's not normal practice to bring an empty picnic basket with you and then fill it up in the honoured guests' banqueting area.
Well, I've got
We
the
did it
empty
last
basket.
time.
And jokes about the Williams sisters and their many knockers will not be tolerated. If you should meet Mr. Henman, please remember his name is Tiger and not Tim Nice but Dim. As if you would. We do hope you enjoy your visit. You'll be sitting in the back row. And may wave to your colleague, Baron Terence de Wogan, who'll be sitting in the front row with his niece.
Yes. I am hoping to go to Wimbledon tomorrow for the very first time in my entire life.
Get out, really?
So-
You'll never get through the gate.
Really?
You'll never get through. They won't let you in.
But I've got a thing round
It
the neck
won't
and
matter.
everything.
It won't matter. They'll immediately identify you
They've got your photo
from their
up.
website.
Yeah.
Oh, I could flog strawberries outside then, I suppose.
That would be the way, or possibly sell a space for a parking car. That's apparently what all the residents of Wimbledon are doing. And Paul Atkinson of Taunton, from the Uckfield Community Technical College.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my kids went there.
Just a note of thanks for your kindness in offering some of our lads the chance to experience life on the ocean wave. The day out you offered for a lucky few was well received.
Oh, good.
Yeah. They're all now familiar with jibing, tacking, heaving to, and binnacles. And they can tell the difference between an alcoholic and an old sea dog. Negligible though it may be. The 2 lads taken into custody following the lifeboat incident are now on bail. We await to see if the RNLI wish to press charges. Following the altercation between the nice lady harbour master and young Edwards, he's now in a stable condition at Eastbourne General, and the scarring should be minimal, although he may limp for a while. I hope the damage to your vessel from the flare is not too great, and you'll be deterred from such an exercise again. We thought we could make the next outing for the girls instead, if that was okay with you.
Well, I suppose that's fine. But, I have been invited on the lifeboat there.
Have you?
Yes, on one of their training days.
Whether
they're planning to
take
chuck
you out.
me out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I hadn't thought of
Chuck
that.
you overboard and then speed away.
No, possibly use him as kind of practice.
Man overboard
Sorry,
drill.
Target
overboard,
practice.
man overboard. And then hurl a life buoy at you.
Oh, couldn't find him anywhere.
No. Sorry, I think the life buoy stunned him. Janet and John go to a garden party. Today, Janet and John are going to a party at the vicarage. It's Pastor Kidney's birthday, and lots of people have been invited. John puts on his special party clothes, an orange sequined catsuit with a sparkly pink bolero jacket and matching knee-length boots. King of the fops. Everyone's taking some food with them to the party. Janet has made a birthday cake, bought a card with a picture of the Reverend Ruth Scott on it. See the steaming cassocks. John has some mature gorgonzola and some cream crackers. John likes cream crackers. Here the coughing fits. When Janet and John arrive at the vicarage, Janet sees Pastor Kidneys. Wishes him happy birthday. Janet says, I'm going to help Mrs. Kidneys with the flowers. You make yourself useful. Try not to get into trouble. I won't, says John. John walks down the garden to where the food is being laid out. John sees Mrs. Parlett from the solicitors. Mrs. Parlett's putting some food on trays to offer to people with their drinks. John says, Would you like some help, Mrs. Parlett? Mrs. Parlett says, Yes, please, John. I see you have some cheese and crackers. Would you put the cheese on one plate and the crackers on another so that people can help themselves? See John put the crackers and cheese on plates. What fun. Mrs. Parlett says, I don't have a free hand now, so perhaps you could put some of the nice French cheese I bought on a plate and walk around with me with the corned beef and pickled baps I made earlier. See John pick up the big tray of baps and the plate of cheese. See how strong John is. Soon Mrs. Parlett and John have handed out all the food. So they go indoors and help with the washing up. After John has finished the washing up, he hops and skips down the garden to meet Janet. Janet is arranging flowers on the table near the cake. Janet says, Where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. And John says, I asked Mrs. Parlett if there was anything I could do for her. She asked if I could follow her closely with a hard Beaufort and hand around her baps. She had my Jacobs in one hand. and my mature blue vein in the other. It all got very messy, so we had to go into the vicarage to clean up. See Janet push a big bunch of roses down John's tights. Oh, God, it's disgraceful.
Wake up to Wogan!
This was a podcast from BBC Radio 2. Don't forget you can also download free podcasts for Steve Wright, Russell Brand and Chris Evans. Get more information now at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2 and wake up to Wogan every weekday morning from 7:30. Online, on digital and on 88 to 91 FM.